I know you all have keen powers of observation, and you will observe that I am not in my dining room. That is in part because the executive order regarding meetings has changed, and there are a few points that I'm going to ask Alicia to go over regarding where we are currently in meetings. Alicia.
All right, so the following is the information that the DLA provided to BEMS regarding holding virtual meetings now that the executive order has expired. 1, pursuant to open meeting law, meetings must occur in person. The executive orders issued under the COVID emergency declaration that temporarily suspended in-person meeting requirements expired on June 25th. A hybrid meeting can be conducted to allow council members and the public to appear in person or virtually. In order for this to occur, the meeting must have a designated location where council members and the public can physically attend. Here, Southern Healthcare System, we're open, it's posted on the website. B, have 2 or more council members present at the location where the physical meeting is being held. Tom and Mickey. C, require council members who are attending virtually to be on camera. So everyone needs to turn their cameras on. And Jeff, you're on there twice, so I'm thinking we're getting some feedback from you. And if both conditions cannot be met, you cannot conduct business. If conditions are met, you may conduct business. So those are the restrictions that we had. Do you want me to do a roll call? Just to take it out? What?
Yes. We'll take to the official meeting.
Okay. All right, then we're going to do roll call at the official meeting. So like I said, if everyone can remember to keep their cameras on, that would be great.
Thank you, Alicia. We will continue to do our best to comply with the ever-changing landscape of meetings and government business. But, thank you all for taking time out to attend this evening. I have received no correspondence beyond what Alicia shared with us. By officer's report, I have no substantial report at this time. We have some business to cover as we go through the meeting, but nothing for me at this time. Vice Chairperson, Jen?
I do not see her on the list.
Okay.
There is an anonymous, but I think that's Todd. Oh.
She's probably out at a fire.
Okay.
There's one in her neighborhood that they've just got under control.
Very good. Treasurer, any report at this time?
She's on.
Yeah. We do have the treasurer's report. I don't believe there's anything to share at this time. Secretary, Dorothy is unable to attend tonight. And past chair, Ed Frederickson.
Ed's not on. And May raised her hand. So May, you can go ahead and talk if you, well, she put it down. So I'm guessing she didn't mean to do that.
All right, we will take the treasurer's report in the official portion of the meeting as we need to. Let's move ahead then with committee reports. Anything new from REMAC?
I was not at the last meeting. I don't believe, from what I heard, and Alicia or Todd, Mickey can speak up. I don't think there was anything big to report to this committee.
That's correct, Doctor. Pretty short meeting, nothing of substance to report.
Good, thank you. CMAC and SEMSCO, the next meeting will be in October. So I don't believe there's anything to report on that. Very well. In that case, we will turn things over to Alicia for the STEMS report.
My report was sent out earlier today by everyone, for everyone to review, so you can take a look at that. The biggest thing in June, we held an EMS Leadership Masterclass series that took Robbie and Lisa did it virtually from EMS Leadership Academy. It took place throughout the month of June, and it was well attended, and we received good feedback on that. Also, Dennis spoke about it before, but the Southern Tier EMTB Academy did start here at Styx. We have 11 students currently in the class, and they're seeming to enjoy themselves, and there's 5 students in Jamestown and 6 here in Olean, so that's been pretty great. And then upcoming, we're having a stroke education for EMS presentation August 23rd, and I sent that out today, so if people would like to attend, they can sign up to attend. It's virtual, and that's with Olean General Hospital's neurologist will be giving that presentation.
Thank you, Alicia. Any questions for STEMs?
Yeah, Alicia, did we get all our folks in for, their skills?
Oh, yes, we had all agencies did comply with the skills requirement this year, so that was
Yeah.
great, especially after taking a year off.
That's exciting.
So yes, that
Thank
was,
you.
thank you to all you on the call, because you guys make sure your agencies and everything do get them in on time, so we appreciate you guys helping us out with that.
Yeah,
Alicia, this is
great.
Todd.
Yes.
Have you gotten any feedback on the CLI training videos that were posted? And is our process streamlined so we can get those squads that need kind of skills evaluators staffed and up and running?
Yeah, so the preceptor course, yeah. So Jay Prosser and Todd and Brian and Tim did help record some videos to make an online preceptor class. We've had quite a few people take it to become new skills evaluators. Also, we had the current skills evaluators take the class. And yes, that is open. Just a reminder, we have to receive medical director approval. And I recommend doing that prior to taking the course. You don't want to take the course and then not end up having approval. So if anyone does want, I don't have it like posted on the website or anything, but if anyone wants that information, they can contact me. I know Dr. Walters has been signing off on people right along, so. For anyone who didn't see, they somehow, it was GEMS. GEMS's newsletter found one of the videos on YouTube for Airway and posted it on their website and sent it out to their entire listserv. I'm not exactly sure. They probably have a Google alert set up for that kind of thing, but that was pretty cool to see. That was not the intent when we made the video, but that video has a lot more views than all the other ones for obvious reasons. So that was kind of cool.
Any other questions? Very good, and thank you for getting the video together and for making sure that skills are done. You play a big part in that as well. Department of Health, Ed Major is on vacation and probably not going to dial in from Puerto Rico or wherever he is. So,
Puerto Rico.
yeah. So we will give him some well-deserved time away and look forward to his report at the next meeting. Council committees, community relations, anything?
Yeah, so for the awards.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there were submissions. Last meeting, we did vote on the Weston Mills application. So that was sent right after that last meeting. And then I know we had the innovation awards didn't have to come to the council, but I know there were submissions from our region for that as well. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll have some winners from our region.
Thank you. Education.
Vital Signs Academy still continues to have their presentations several times a week. Our EMS conference please God, is scheduled for the 15th and 16th of October at Good Times. As it gets closer and things firm up, we will be looking for some assistance from folks. So don't be surprised to get an email from us. And that's really about it right now.
This is Dan. I have
Thank
a
you.
question. Alicia, are you still sending out the notices of what the courses are per week?
Yes, I am. The state has been giving them to us on Sundays, so I've been trying to send them out on Mondays. But they are posted on the website as well, but yes, I continue to send those out.
And just as a follow-up, Dan, we did ask them, if we could get them by Thursday. Because again, you guys need to plan ahead a little bit, to get it on Monday when the class is Monday. And
Right.
Ryan also had mentioned that they have the whole month of August scheduled. So we asked if we could possibly get the whole month of August, to share with all of you.
And the whole month is up there on the Vital Signs calendar. So feel free to take a look, and they are doing a lot of pediatric trainings, which we like to see every other week. So we try and push those. But yes, I'll continue to send those out.
Thank you.
Dan, are you not getting them?
No, I thought they had taken some time off because I haven't been getting them. So
Okay, I'll double check your email, because I know there was they did take a week break. They have taken a couple breaks throughout, but yeah, I'll be sure to make sure. I know I send a lot of emails sometimes, so I get filtered to spam on occasion, but I will just double check that and be sure to continue sharing that with everyone.
Thank
Doug here, similarly kind of to Dan, it's been a hit or miss for my email. I received your notice today about the stroke, but I have not been regularly weekly getting your Vital Signs
Okay.
Academy.
I will double check that then. Thank you, Doug, for that.
This week came out Sunday, correct?
Yeah, and I sent it out Monday morning. But yep, I will be sure to get those out. I would like to get them out the Friday before, especially because I think the Monday webinar is at lunchtime. So, but yes, thank you. I will definitely look into that.
All right, other questions for education? Regarding the conference, our conference at Good Times, people that have paid,
Yeah,
we have their
fees were-
names and we have their
Yep,
numbers.
everything was-
Re-registered.
yeah.
They're automatically in if they have registered and paid for the 2019?
No, 2020 spring.
Spring, okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you had already registered for
Good to go.
or you have members that have, you can assure them or let them know that they are automatically registered for this one.
We'll send some.
Yeah, we'll be sending stuff out.
Yeah.
We're just so afraid that
I know.
we're gonna
Yeah.
jinx ourselves. So.
What were the
I-
dates
I
again?
understand.
October 15th and 16th at Good Times. We were trying to battle with, we didn't want to go the same time as Vital Signs.
Mhm.
There's a couple other conferences in the fall that they usually have in the fall, so that was, and then also Good Times only had limited availability, so that was the weekend that we got.
We hope to get.
Well, yeah, we hope to get, hopefully they, stay open and
All goes well.
all goes well.
All right. Brian, EMS services.
Nothing to report today.
Legislative, anything?
George had reached out to me. He is unavailable and had nothing to report.
Very good.
The only other topic that is kind of rearing its head is the Onion's push for ambulance services to sign on to their efforts to develop an upper payer limit for Medicaid reimbursement. It's not going well. The the consulting group that is kind of spearheading this is asking for a king's ransom with no guarantee that the governor is going to share the added federal Medicaid dollar match and forward that on to ambulance services. So it's kind of floundering at this point. If there is any change in that, I'll share it with the group.
All right, thank you, Todd, for that. We are trying to adjust the camera slightly, so you might see me disappear. Just talk amongst yourselves until I.
Move on to the next one. Yeah, just keep going.
They can hear you, can't see you.
Even better. By way of county reports, begin with Allegheny. Sorry, membership. Sorry, Dan. Anything for membership?
Nothing at this time, other than to remind folks that if you want to have an alternate, we need that. Our membership is full, but we've got a lot of folks that don't have alternates, so we would encourage folks to nominate an alternate.
Very good. Thank you. Now then, county reports, starting with Allegheny.
Hi all. Just getting ready to start up our 2 classes. We have our EMT class will start on August 10th, and our AEMT class will start on August 23rd. We have, I believe, 12 right now for our EMT class, which is a small class for us, but our AEMT class is at 22 right now, and that's the largest one we've done since I've been here in 6 years. So that's really good. Other than that, it's business as usual.
All right, as part of the Allegheny County report, I asked Scott Lanfear if he would give a short report on how things went at the Allegheny County Fair from the EMS perspective. I know that the Cattaraugus County Fair is going on this week, and I'm sorry, I don't know when the Chautauqua County Fair is, but I'll be looking for feedback from both of those as well from the EMS side, just to give you a heads up. So Scott, do you want to share?
Sure. We partnered with the county fair a few years back, filed the Part 18 permit, which we did not get this year, mostly due to the backlog that was never going to get an approval from Albany. And we usually don't meet the 5,000 attendees at one point anyways, but we usually get the permit just to kind of guide us in what we should be doing. So we still follow that. We provide on-site EMS coverage from when the fair opens at 8 a.m. till the fair closes at midnight, 6 days a week. During fair week, provide EMS coverage for all the grandstand events and regular fairground activities. During the day, we see a lot of bumps and bruises from the 4-H kids and the kids showing animals that are much larger than them. Deal with some bumps and bruises, but besides that, it's kind of business as usual for us. It gives us, our employees, a nice chance to enjoy something a little different than sitting in an ambulance. And we treated 61 patients this year over the course of 6 days. And we just had one rollover during the demo derby. So we were pretty lucky this year. No helicopters were needed. So, but we just continue to work with them. We look forward to the Part 18 revisions, because if you try to follow that policy statement from the Bureau, it's so far out that it's tough to carry on, but we had our bite sticks in case we got inspected. So.
Very good, thank you. And I've been informed that the Chautauqua County Fair was canceled for this year, so I guess no report about that. But at the next meeting, we'll look for a report from Cattaraugus County and see how their experience was. Dr. Walters, anything from Cattaraugus County? I know that Bobby and Chris are both at the fair.
Yeah, they're probably counting bite sticks right now, I think, is what I heard. So, so they'll be glad to give a report next meeting, I'm sure. Just a couple of things I'll mention real quick. First off is we are having in Cattaraugus County a EMS Captains Chiefs meeting. I think everyone was, notification was sent out next Tuesday. I believe it's the 10th. So we'll be going over a couple of things. One of the items, and I don't want to go into it now, but one of the things we've been looking at is We've had a lot of questions from providers and from agencies talking about how COVID has impacted some of their responses, some delays. We know that we have some, recruitment, retention issues and staffing issues in certain agencies. And the question, was, or I guess the thought was that COVID has kind of highlighted some of that for a variety of reasons. So we have gotten some data and some things that Bobby's been putting together with the dispatch center that we're going to be talking about at that meeting. So that and a couple other things we'll be discussing there. The other thing, and I guess that this is probably the place to bring it up, is many of you know, and it doesn't just affect Cattaraugus County, but there have been some substantial delays lately at OGH, and I've been hearing a lot of buzz, a lot of complaints from agencies, a lot of discussion about this. I don't want to turn this meeting into a conversation about that, but I know that we are having another ongoing meeting with them on Friday with, Bobby will be there, and Donna and Alicia and a few others to discuss some of those things. What the hospital has been trying to do when you get these notifications that go out, they'll say Olean General's on delay. Basically what that means is that they're having an extreme wait for beds. They have a lot of patients backed up into the waiting room. It may be because of trouble getting admitted patients upstairs or not having any beds available or things of that nature. That delay is not a diversion, right? It doesn't mean you can't bring a patient, but they do ask that if there is a patient who could potentially go to another hospital, to consider that an alternate place, such as Bradford, Bertrand Chaffee, WCA, whatever it may be, Jones, depending on your location, and if appropriate, and if there's any concerns, to call medical control. So I just don't want that to confuse people, to understand that a delay is they're trying to keep EMS in the loop as a courtesy. I think what we often hear from providers is they were really backed up and we didn't know we'd be waiting for so long, and they should have told us. And so that's their attempt to do that. But there's still been some confusion and some difficulty in things that that we're going to be trying to talk about on Friday, and then providing some more guidance in that next week. I don't know that it really affects any of the Chautauqua County agencies very much, because they don't routinely go to OGH. Some of the Allegheny County agencies may. When the hospital notifies Cattaraugus County dispatch of a delay, then I know McKean County, Allegheny County, their dispatch centers, and I think, Jeff, you probably get also the Everbridge notification that goes out. So just make sure that that communication, when it does go out to your agencies or to your counties, that it is being shared so that everybody is aware and not caught off guard in that situation.
Very good. I concur with Dr. Walters that I don't think that we need to have a large discussion on Olean General at this point. If that is something that you have an opinion on, I will turf that to Donna and Alicia, and they can, I'm sure will.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Todd.
I do have an opinion on this, and I'd like to share. As I see the good doctor chuckle. Actually, I just wanted to reinforce one point. The hospital's policy on delays omits or carves out STEMIs and strokes. I believe, if I'm correct, I believe they even if they're on delay, there should be no reason that a STEMI does not get into that cath lab. So that's an important point that I just wanted to bring forward.
Yeah, that is correct, Todd, and that is a good point. I'm glad you brought that up, that they will not ever go on delay or refuse a STEMI or a stroke.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Scott.
I just want, as long as we're talking about Olean General, I just want to give thanks to Donna. We had a issue with we had a STEMI that we gave pre-notification for and didn't get the appropriate activation of the cath lab team. And I just want to reach out. Donna followed that through. I believe it was a Sunday morning at like 9 o'clock. And we had resolution shortly before lunchtime on Sunday with follow-up of that week. So I just want to thank Donna for her diligence and the staff at Olean General for working through that for us. It was an issue that was taken care of quickly and effectively. So thanks again.
You're welcome.
Further proof that we have one of, if not the best program agency in the state. And I say that as unbiased as I can, with them sitting right behind me. But no, we're blessed to have that, and glad that was worked out. So let me just again say that Donna and Alicia will be attending that meeting. If you have something, or if you feel that you should be invited to that meeting and you haven't been, I would encourage you to reach out either through Donna and Alicia or directly to Olean General's ER and ask if you could be part of that. Where was I? Chautauqua County.
Yeah, we've got 2 classes coming up, one at JCC and one through the county at Mayville. The JCC classes start in August. They're doing a refresher and an original. We're doing an original at the county office, the EOC. That starts the end of September. There was some concern about how many students, and we put out a survey, and quite surprisingly, we got 70 responses that said they might be interested. So we'll see if we can get most of them signed up. So we were very encouraged by the number that responded positively to the survey. Westfield Hospital has restarted their in-person QA/QI committee with the squads. They had their first meeting in a year and a half last Thursday. Unfortunately, I had another meeting and I was not able to attend, but things are starting to open back up a little bit. Bill or Doug, Donna, Brian, anything else?
Thank you, Dan. I must say it's quite encouraging to hear those numbers on the basic EMT class and the Allegheny County numbers on the AEMT class. Those are some of the more robust numbers of students that we've heard for quite some time. I hope there's a close to that number that complete the course and become certified. Let me just roll right into that. All right. That completes the unofficial portion of the meeting. We'll call the official portion of the Southwestern Regional Council meeting to order. We'll ask Alicia to do a roll call to determine quorum.
Kay Bushman,
I'm here.
Jessica Gaines,
Here.
Scott Lampier,
Present.
Dan Marsh,
Here.
Terry Parker,
Here.
thank you. Tom Sampson,
Here.
May Stottlemyre, I can see her talking, but I can't hear, but we got you, May. Maggie Thompson,
You might want to let her know she's not. You're not muted now, May.
It says that I'm still muted.
oh, we can hear you.
We can hear you. I can hear the boy.
I can mute you for you. Oh, well, nope, she got it. Okay, Maggie, I got you. Bonnie Van Housen. I saw her earlier. Or alternate, Jeff Lucky.
Yeah, I'm here. Bonnie's phone's been cutting in and out, but yeah.
Okay. Paul Weaver, I believe he was had to work tonight. Paul Weaver? Okay, Chris Baker, excused. Dorothy Button, excused. Mickey Fornes. Here. Ed Frederickson. Bobby Coon. Carrie Carr.
Here.
Brad Petrozewski. Todd Reisner.
Todd's here.
Tim Richardson was excused, and Dr. Walters.
I'm here.
Priscilla Baines. Donna Bryant.
I'm here.
Tim Carlson. Doug Conroe.
Here.
Jen Hutton. Dan Imfeld.
Here.
Bill Johnston,
He's
oh,
there.
he's waving, okay. Laura Logan,
I'm here.
thank you. Kevin Peebles. I see you, Kevin. We can't hear you, but I can see your mouth moving.
Here.
There you go. There you go. Brian Wilcox.
Here.
And then guests, I have myself, Donna Kane, George, Ed Major and Don weren't able to join. All right, is there any other guests on that I missed? I see a couple phone numbers, so I didn't know if we had some other people join.
Henry Lamar.
Oh, hi, Dr. Lewis.
Hello.
All right, and that concludes roll call. We have a quorum.
Very good. We have 20 members. We have a quorum. We'll move ahead. The minutes of the previous meeting were attached to your video link for this evening. You've had a chance to look those over. We will entertain a motion regarding those.
This is Dan, so moved. Accept them.
Dan Imfeld, is there a second?
Scott
Bill
Lanfear.
Johnson, second. Any opposed to the minutes, please raise your hand. Very well. The minutes are accepted. Does everybody have the treasurer's?
No.
Treasurer's report. Would you like me to read that?
Hear me now? So can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I sent out treasurer's earlier. A. Crandall's has a check on the way for $4,600 for the return of their deposit for the expansion. The only expenses of that were $400 that were paid to the Southern Tier Healthcare Services. That's all there was for this last month.
You don't like us.
Any questions regarding the treasurer's report as presented by Susan? If not, we'll accept a motion or entertain a motion made by Mickey. A second. Is there a second? All right.
I think Carrie Parr.
Seconded by Carrie Parr. Any discussion? If not, only those opposed, please raise your hand.
Oh, Brian Wilcox, did you mean to raise your hand? No?
No, I bumped it. Now I can't get it to go down.
Okay, I'll lower it for you. Okay.
Very good. The treasurer's report is passed. I do have several enforcement notifications, so I will ask you to bear with me as we move through those.
There's 9.
There's 9. Thank you. This is Sybil Frost, Brooklyn, New York. Suspended for 1 year, effective 6/1/21. The suspension is stayed. Assessed a civil penalty of $2,000 for violation of Part 816A7. Next is Robert Lukens, Saugerties, New York. Surrendered for revocation upon consent, effective 6/1/21 for violations of 816A7. Manisha Atkinson, Rosedale, New York. Revoked, effective 6/3/21. Violations of Part 816A5 and A7. James Schofield, New Paltz, New York. Certification has been suspended for 6 months, effective 6/9/21. The suspension, is spelled suspension? No, is stayed. Placed on probation for 3 years, effective 6/9/21. Required to take an ACLS refresher for violations of Part 815 A1 and 2. Richard Harold Jr., Manasquan, New Jersey. Issued reprimand, assessed a civil penalty of $2,000, $1,000 stayed, placed on probation for 3 years, effective 6/10/21, for violations of Part 800 3AO. There's an agency, Nassau County Police Department, Mineola, New York. Issued a formal reprimand effective 6/14/21. Assessed a civil penalty of $2,000. Violations of public health law, Article 33006 AC, 3053, and Part 800.21. Another agency, Mountaindale Fire Department First Aid Squad in Mountaindale, New York. Assessed a civil penalty of $2,000, suspended for 1 year, effective 6/14/21. The suspension is stayed. Violations of public health law 3012B, 3006, and Part 800.21. James Philbin, Staten Island, New York. Revoked effective 7/22/21. Assist a civil penalty of $10,000. Yikes. Violations of Part 800.3 AP1 and 800.3 AL. And finally, Francesco Berardi, Staten Island, New York. Suspended for 1 year, effective 8/3/21. The suspension is stayed pending no further violations for a period of 3 years. Assessed a civil penalty of $2,000. Violations of Part 800.3 AP. That concludes enforcement notifications. I'll wake up. Moving on to old business. The CON appeal of Chautauqua County EMS. I have had no conversation or correspondence from the state. So that is all I have to report, and we will continue to keep you updated as we move along. The last meeting, Director Greenberg was on, and there was a fair amount of discussion about the transition to the MURU app. I thought that we should leave that on to see if anybody has any updates or new thoughts or opinions on how that is functioning, or if and how they might pay for it for their departments.
I've got the app loaded onto my phone, Mr. Chairman. It seems to be functional. What I would like, and maybe it's just my lack of user interface experience with it, but if I have a trauma alert to go to the county, I want to be able to pick up that number quickly when I'm at the Muru app, and I don't know if that's doable.
I do not have
Comment.
an answer for you. I don't know if anyone else does.
Trauma centers listed.
Are you
Yeah,
saying it's possible but
the phone number
cumbersome?
for the trauma alert at ECMC, I don't think is clearly listed on the Mover app. And if it is, I'm not seeing it when I'm using the interface.
I see.
That would be my only comment.
Any other opinions or? Very good.
It's right there. There's a number there.
We'll send you a tutorial, Todd.
Thank you.
It'll be a video on GEMS.
All right.
Nikki has it loaded on her phone, so she'll give you the tutorial.
Wait a second, that's more than I bargained for. I didn't want a tutorial from Mickey.
From her flip phone.
Did I find it for you?
Yeah.
And then also along in the electronics age, any further information on the electronic PCR implementation and the state's?
We worked with all the agencies. There was some delays with EMS charts. They were a little overwhelmed, but with the number of agencies wanting to go live, but we've been working through that, and all the agencies have been great to work with and got their paperwork in and everything, so that was great.
Do we know how many are still using the paper portal?
There's very few. I would say less than 5. No one really wanted to do the paper portal. So.
Did you reach out to Don from NetScript?
I gave him a call, but I got his voicemail, so I'm going to call again tomorrow.
Okay.
Because they're on the portal. They're one of the ones on the paper portal. So I'm reaching out again to get the information on EMS charts.
Alicia, this is Dan. Did we wind up with 1 or 2 in our county on the paper portal?
Yeah, you had Lilydale. Because they don't do many calls in general.
No.
They were, I believe, the only one on the portal.
Okay, thank you.
Doug here. We moved to image trends for our agency, and I'm pleased to report that the bulk of our PCRs were pre-image trends. I put our best techie EMT on starting up. It took him over 2 hours to complete one, and we're trying to scratch our heads and figure out what's going on there. And as we go along, we'll see how it works. But that was very scary for the other EMTs in the department to take on. And we'll figure it out. But I don't know if anyone else is having that concern with image trends. But for some reason, he's very proficient, and it took him forever, and he complained heavily. As I believe there's data points on there that don't need to be completed. He was trying to complete them, and I think we've got to work through what we need to do and what we can skip.
Any other observations?
Doug, I know Maggie's agencies also, I don't have many that went to the free image trend one. Maggie's agency is one of them. And Neil Green at Belfast has been pretty good at, so if maybe I could get you in contact with him if you have any or get that person, your tech savvy person, in contact with Neil. He's been pretty well involved and, really into the image trend platform. So he might be a good person to ask some questions to as well.
I think that's a great idea. We ought to try and make it happen. Yep. Thank you.
Okay.
Doug, I think the city of Dunkirk also uses image trend, and I haven't really talked to Nick
Yeah.
Barger very much about their experience with it, but he might be someone to reach out to as well.
Okay.
Yes, they are using it as well.
Hey, while we're on the subject of that real quick, just so that you're aware, because I did reach out to Peter Brody about this for medical directors. If you have multiple agencies that use Image Trend, they can create one medical director account for you that will allow you to access all your agencies, just so that you guys are aware.
Very good. At the end of the last meeting, we voted to reappoint and send letters to that effect regarding Dr. Walters and Mickey's seats on state councils. And those letters were sent to the state. So, any other old business that we need to discuss? Any other old business? Very well, we'll move ahead to new business. The only thing that I wanted to try and get started on early was Vital Signs reimbursement. As of now, Vital Signs is scheduled for November 11th to the 14th in Saratoga Springs. I realize that we'll be meeting in October, but I was hopeful that at that meeting we could have a final decision and be able to get things out to the departments about how the council, how and if the council will assist with people to go to that. So
The year, the state is just now opening us to be able to submit a budget for the new year. So we don't know if they're gonna approve it. We don't know if they'll approve, because last year, they told us. Was it last? Yeah, they don't like that we're reimbursing for money that is going, because it's like their conference.
Mhm.
So it's like reimbursing money that also is going to them, so. So maybe it's just. Right, so we'll definitely look.
Well, look, I'll see if I can get a hold of Lynn and ask her if that's gonna be an issue. They are also, I mean, depending on if they reimburse or not, they are having a virtual access to the conference, and we haven't gotten details on
No,
that.
it's like they're having a hybrid option.
But registration is open currently, right?
Correct, registration is open, and the hotel blocks are open.
If you elect the hybrid model, is registration open for that?
I truthfully have not tried to register, but I could look for you.
Yeah, because the first time we heard about it was yesterday on our program agency meeting call, so.
And I believe it's just you're gonna be watching a live stream of the room, like the conference room.
Would there be any CME opportunity for the hybrid?
I believe if you attend, you get CME.
I'm not gonna lie, we don't know much about it yet.
No.
It sounds very appealing, so I think folks will want to know.
I'll tell you, we had our ENA conference last year. It was virtual and we opened it to everybody. We had 500 people that attended our conference. So it is very appealing to folks.
So when you go to register, it makes you pick if you want to register for in-person or virtual. And it looks like the virtual registration is $129.
What's the other?
Let me go back and say I want to go in person. I think you'd be able to see it without registering, but in person is $245. They do still allow, like, if you want to register for one day over the other as well, and they have pre-conferences as well. So this is just the normal. No, pre-conferences have never been involved in the reimbursement.
Lois will look into it more.
Yeah, we can
send something out.
So it lets you pick which sessions you want and everything. So I would imagine we can confirm that you'll get Me, but
I know I worked the last conference and they made us, actually they gave us phones and we had to register everybody coming in order to give them CME. So I gotta believe there's a way to do it virtually.
I believe that, I would assume, and this is just my assumption, they would continue doing it similar to how they're doing Vital Signs Academy. They would give a coupon code and that's how you claim your certificate, but I can't say for sure. But we can reach out to Val to find out more information about the virtual option.
Thank you for following up on that. Any other early thoughts on vital signs and potential reimbursement?
This is Dan. We've always done the registration. I think we just need to, as a council, confirm that we're going to reimburse for virtual registrations as well.
And that, of course, is pending the state's decision on whether we can even use budget funds for that purpose.
Correct.
We should send that to, or should we just discuss it at the next?
I just put on the agenda for the next meeting.
We will add that to the agenda under old business for the next meeting. And Donna and Alicia will keep us updated as more information becomes available. Is there any other new business?
It's not really new business, but I got a question for Donna or Alicia. Are refusal forms available, or are they on back order, or?
I have a limited supply of what was purchased last time. I know Lakewood just requested some, so we'll be sending some out to Lakewood, but we do have a stock of them here. A couple, right when I first started, Shrem's purchased a large bundle of them, and yeah, it was, my office was full of them, so it's kind of nice that I'm getting my shelf back, not gonna lie. But
How many do we have?
I do not have a stock. I could get a stock.
I would say
on
like
Tony.
250,
Oh,
500.
We still have some, but we're getting towards the end.
Getting towards the end.
We're getting towards the end of our supply. And at this time, Southern Tier doesn't have plans to purchase more, unless we have the funds for that. Because we ordered those in duplicate, from a local print shop.
If you still have 500, we don't need to order that.
I'd have to check, Mickey. I don't
Can
want
you
to,
let us know?
yeah.
Yeah,
That was total 100% guess.
yeah, I don't, it's hard to look at a stack of papers and tell you how many are there, but I know Tony keeps track of all that, so I can speak with her about that.
Okay, let us know.
So is there a plan to, when those run out, for stems to purchase, or what's the plan going forward?
Well, I would suggest that we find out how many we have, and then we can have that discussion at the next meeting if we're getting to a critical number where we don't have enough.
I know some people, I know some agencies have it incorporated into their EPCR, so I know some agencies don't use it at all. But then there are the, you know, I feel we get the request from the same agencies, so.
Is that incorporated? That's not incorporated into the image trends basic?
It's a REMAX, it's our REMAX specific refusal form.
Any other old business, or I'm sorry, new business?
Can I just add some color to the REMAC refusal forms? Trans Am is part of an enterprise that has multiple entities outside of the state. And when they rely on purely electronic refusal forms, it seems anecdotally to me, at least, when I'm on calls regarding documentation, that those companies routinely have problems with data storage and data retrieval. So I'm a big paper kind of guy. I'm anti-tech in this regard. If I've got a refusal, I'd like a hard copy of it that I can duplicate and scan electronically into the chart. So that's just my 2 cents on it. I think it might be a worthwhile investment to get more.
Todd, we don't have you ever getting any from us. So are you just taking plain pieces of paper and copying it and scanning it?
Affirmative. That's what I do.
Okay. We just didn't know if it had to be on duplicate, because that's where it gets really expensive, is that carbon.
The duplicate form is what's expensive. So.
Right, but I think these volley squads are wanting proof that they've done a refusal and a sign off, and they're giving a copy to the patient, where I'm more concerned about my legal responsibility.
Right. Yeah. And again, it's a CREMAC form, so my guess I would ask Doc, does it need to be a duplicate? I know that our squad here locally has always given the second yellow copy to the patient for their reference.
I don't think it needs to be a carbon copy, unless it has, I'm trying to remember the form. Does it have a spot on there where it gives them some instructions or something like that? I can tell you that when we have people sign AMA in the emergency room, we don't give them a copy of it. So for whatever that's worth, I don't think it's necessary. I think I'm kind of with Todd. I mean, if you give them a copy and the patient has a record of it, that's fine. I'd be more concerned that we have a record of it as an agency from a liability standpoint. So. Okay.
It may be cheaper to just print another single sheet with the instructions on it, because the instructions really don't change from sign off to sign off. We're still advising them to call 911 if anything changes.
Yeah, it's really a canned kind of response. I agree.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, I think that, I mean, anyone who's done this, usually documents in their PCR that they explain the risks, and if you document in there, you explain the risks, they understood, and they understand that they can go to the ER or call 911 if they change their mind. I mean, I think that you can document that, in your PCR. You don't necessarily have to give them that instruction sheet from my standpoint. So I'd be happy with just one copy personally, but that's my opinion.
We also,
Alicia, Dr. Walters, and there's nothing in the policy saying you have to
give them a copy.
In the REMAC.
we also do the same thing Trans Am does. We do not give them a copy. We retain the copy just for our own records.
It was before I started. So.
Any other new business for the council this evening?
I was giving thought.
If not, I will inform you that the next meeting will be October 6th at 6:30. We will ask you to pay attention to your emails regarding what the current attendance requirements are. I would welcome you all back into the same room so that I don't have to try and keep track of all your faces on the TV screen. But I thank you for your compliance with the orders of the day to have cameras on and microphones on when needed. And thank you again for your flexibility. And we will, at this time, adjourn our meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Bill Johnston.
Bill Johnston, using all his fingers to wave. And Doug Conroe seconded. All those in favor, wave.
Okay.
Be safe, folks.